Hi, friends. To all of you who find yourself either with discontentment in life, whether that be your job or you look around, maybe this isn't where you envisioned yourself when they used to ask you, where do you see yourself 5 to 10 years from now? To any young people who are perhaps clicking on this video and finding yourself unhappy or maybe even feeling unsafe at home, to all of you who are going through a divorce or a major breakup, to all of you who are just feeling stressed out in this moment, clicking on this video, this goes out to you guys. So when I started thinking about what I wanted my next podcast video to be about, I thought when I woke up this morning, I changed it. And I thought, how many people wake up in the morning feeling discontent with life? I know coming from having a hard week last week, I was feeling a little bit discontent myself. And then I tried to remind myself, because here's the thing, when you're going through those moments, they do not last. But then when I woke up this morning, I remember thinking to myself, wow, I know exactly what I want to share in my podcast episode. And I wanted to start off with a few statistics here. Now, everyone goes through stress or discontentment or feeling upset about life for a variety of reasons. So just so that you don't feel so alone or so singled out, these are the stats that I wanted to share with you guys. According to the NIH, statistics show that around 4.8% of people, or 12.2 million Americans, feel discontent with their life, whereas 27% reported somewhat discontentment with life. Factors included whether they were low income, their job satisfaction rate, which, by the way, the job dissatisfaction rate for a lot of Americans is between 40 to 45%. Some statistics websites showing as high as 60%. Now, this next one breaks my heart, and if you find yourself in this situation, I understand what it feels like genuinely, and my heart goes out to you. 40 to 50% of all marriages end in a divorce, where if you marry a second time, it's higher. It's around 60 to 65%. And that's from the American Psychological Association. 23 to 25% of all American homes where there's children of the age of under 18, they find themselves in a single parent home. Now that one shocked me. I thought it was going to be like 10-15%. No. The stats show that 23 to 25%, let that sink in. That's between 17.5 to nearly 19 million children in the United States of America are in single parent homes. Now, this I got from pewresearch.org, where they have a lot of professionals, social scientists who come together and they gather data. And in case you're curious, yes, the United States of America has the highest rate of single parenthood from out of the 100, over 100-ish, 150 countries that this organization follows. Again, the United States has 23% statistics of single-parent home. Mexico has 7%. Again, United States 23% compared to that of Russia, 18%. India, 5%. Brazil, 10%. The United States is leading out in it. That's extremely sad to think about. My country, me being a youth worker, working with young people, trying to motivate them to do better than they can imagine possible, this breaks my heart to see. Every year, an estimated 3.3 million to 10 million children are exposed to domestic violence in their homes. This is again from the NIH, CDC as well. Now, keep in mind, domestic violence doesn't always mean that you're in a home where you saw or see currently parents hitting each other or necessarily physical violence. Domestic violence can be categorized through verbal, physical, sexual, or psychological abuse. So it's saying that 3.3 million to 10 million children are exposed to domestic violence, which means that at some point they felt unsafe in their home. And what really breaks my heart about this is me being a youth worker, I've seen it, and being a teacher as well. I've seen the increased anxiety in young people going through this. And all of this, don't think that all of this is not interconnected. When adults are married in a home where they're dissatisfied with life, where the income isn't well enough, where they're constantly fighting with each other, then divorce results, a lot of this piggybacks on each other. And so I've seen the anxiety, I've seen the fear where sometimes my students don't want to go home. I've seen the depression. I've seen the loss of interest in school activities where they're doing amazing and then all of a sudden they put their head down every single day. I've seen young people have sleep problems where they're just sleeping the entire time in my classroom, and I can tell it's not out of being disrespectful. Sometimes they just look like they're going through a lot at home. I've seen the increased aggression, the reactivity. I've seen the anger. I've seen the desire to spend time alone away from people. I've seen where their stress has led to them arguing or not getting along with their interpersonal relationships. I've seen the changes in appetite. And America, we need to wake up. The high divorce rates, the arguing in front of children, the allowing our dissatisfaction with life to impact the way we treat others. This is not okay because some of you are in this situation right now, especially if you're a young person watching this. It's all a cycle and it can stop at you. The chain can break at you. It starts with you. And I want you to know that whatever it is that you're feeling as you're watching this video, you are allowed to feel however you want. You're allowed to feel as upset as you want to feel. You're allowed to cry as much as you want to cry. You're allowed to be just whatever it is that you're feeling. You're always allowed to feel that. I don't care what your mom told you. I don't care what a friend told you. I don't care how many people tell you you're dramatic. I don't care how many people say you have anger issues. You're allowed to feel however you want to feel. And you're allowed to feel that now. What matters is what you do with those emotions. And that's why I made this video, because now reading the statistics even more, having that refresher, that understanding that a lot of us are going through this, where we recognize that something is wrong. And I want you to know that if you are living in a household or have lived in a household where you still carry that trauma with you, of having seen parents argue or yelling, or maybe you and your siblings were physically violent or yelling or whatever it is, I want you to know that that is not the way a house should live. That is not a normal. And that if you find yourself having trust issues, or perhaps you tend to be a little bit volatile whenever you do have conflict with someone, maybe you get defensive. Again, a lot of that stops right here, because here's the thing. You may not be able to control what happens around you, but you absolutely can control how you choose to react to it. Now, I also want to describe a little bit of what you're feeling whenever you feel stressed out. That shaking, or the heart rate rising, or the sensitivity to sound, or that alertness that you have, or perhaps it's that overwhelming feeling that you carry with you that just won't go away, that sort of voice in the back of your head that's telling you that either that you're not okay, or that maybe you're looking around and it's that discontentment, that spirit of dissatisfaction of, I had all this potential and this is where I ended up. Whatever it is, those negative energies, those negative voices that you're hearing, I want to let you know that they all result in the same thing. Increase in cortisol, sometimes even increase in adrenaline, increase in dopamine, and a variety of other things as well. Increase in endorphins, which is when you experience pain or stress, your brain releases endorphins to act as a natural pain reliever, allowing you to continue to function. So this is also why when you're stressed out and then you feel those tense, you don't feel the tense muscles, you don't feel any pain, but you are tense. And then the next day you're like, why am I sore? I didn't exercise. So the first thing I want to ask you to do right now is to notice your muscles. Take a deep breath. 5 seconds in. Hold it. 5 seconds out. One more time. 5 seconds in. Notice your muscles. Where they're tense, relax them. 5 seconds out. I want you to do this at least 5-10 more times. And each time focus on a different body part. I want you to notice where you carry all of your stress. And I want you to feel whatever it is that you're feeling. The anger, the frustration. If you can do it even a max minimum around there of 5 minutes, max of 10 minutes, let's go ahead and pause this video and do that now. And then allow yourself to feel whatever you're going to feel. And then as you head towards the ending of your breathing exercises, I want you to let it go. Inhale your emotion, anger. You're allowed to feel however you want to feel. Hold it. Exhale. Let it go. I think a lot of the stress that we hold on to a lot is a manifestation of the fear that we have of where the situation we are in life, that we fear that it's never going to go away, that we're going to be in this rut forever. It isn't going to be there forever. And it's time for you to inhale and be okay with feeling and acknowledging the feelings that you have, and then let it go. Going through a breakup, feel betrayed? Inhale. You can cry if you need to. You can allow, as long as you allow the exhalation and you let it go. Whatever emotions come, let them come. Do not judge them. Judgment is for the external world. You can control how much judgment you have for yourself. The reason why I asked you to pause this video and to do those breathing exercises is the important part, is that it doesn't matter what I share in this video. If you are not in the right state of mind, it's not going to help. Because when you're stressed out and you have cortisol, what it does is that it increases your heart rate, it increases your overall blood flow, it accelerates your thought process. And when your thought process is accelerated to the point where your mind can't really keep up with it, you're not really going to be able to focus. Because of your stress, your attention is divided and you're likely not to remember the things of this video. So I really asked that if you're feeling stressed out or upset or sad or angry, to pause this video and practice the breathing exercise. Cortisol fatigue is a very real thing. You don't need that in your life. Cortisol causes aging. Cortisol causes heart disease. An abnormal level of cortisol can cause sensitivity the next day. Have you ever just been feeling discontent with life and someone makes you angry? Or perhaps you felt like you were tired of your family members arguing. Perhaps you saw domestic violence. You felt like you couldn't sleep at night. And then the next day when you go to school, you feel hypersensitive. Not necessarily your emotions, but where like sound sort of irritates you. And sometimes normally when people talk to you, it doesn't bother you. And all of a sudden it's bugging you and you want everyone to just shut up. Or maybe the thing that normally wouldn't make you angry now makes you angry. Or maybe the person you would never go off on, you're going off on them. Maybe you look around and the skies look a little bit more gray. And you keep asking yourself, man, back when they used to ask me, where do I see myself 5 to 10 years from now? That I hate where I'm at in life. I don't like my job. If you find yourself feeling that way, I invite you to every single day, you have two options. You can either choose to navigate through the bads of life of constantly seeing yourself as the victim, constantly seeing yourself as, well, the reason why I never got ahead in life was because I grew up like this. Or if I had both mom and dad in my life, then I would have ended up like this too. Or maybe even you feel yourself looking around and you're feeling envious. And I'm going to tell you right now, you can choose down that route of victim mentality and cortisol fatigue every single day and forever be stuck in that rut. Or you can choose to wake up every single day acknowledging where you are in life. Yes, I don't like where I'm at. Yes, I don't feel safe at home. Or maybe, yes, I do not like my job. Or man, I didn't see myself being where I am today. But thank you for another day of life. Thank you for a day to be able to draw fresh air. Thank you for not living in a country where we don't have to worry about a war, bombs going off around us. Thank you for another day to be able to start fresh, to be able to count my blessings, to be able to make something of myself. And today is the day I'm going to start the change. Meditate for 10 minutes in the morning because, guys, I'm going to tell you what the Bible actually says about this. Proverbs 4:23 says, be careful how you think your life is shaped by your thoughts. I remember being in high school and I was going through a lot at home. I was seeing domestic violence in my home. I was seeing certain things that I wish I hadn't seen. And it wasn't just home. I saw it in my friends. I saw it in their families as well. And I remember going to school and really feeling upset about life. Every time someone betrayed me or I had like a boy that I liked and every little thing felt like a betrayal, or maybe I felt like friends just were fake. When you get in a rut of negative mentality, you have to understand everything becomes negative. Everyone is your op. Everyone's annoying, because that's at what point is it going to be, hey, maybe I should turn back to myself and look at my own mentality, but I was too young to understand that. I thought I understood life pretty well. And I remember my science teacher back then, she was my earth science teacher. And I remember her noticing my potential, and she saw kind of how I spoke about myself. I spoke very low of myself. I had a very low self-image. And I remember her writing down, she said, "Hey, mentality is a big thing." And I remember it was a small thing she did. She wrote it down, Proverbs 4:23, and she said, "Be careful how you think, your life is shaped by your thoughts." That was the first time I remember walking out of that classroom in my high school, and I was like, wow, how am I allowing myself to think? Another version of Proverbs 4:23 says, "Above all, guard your hearts, for everything you do flows from it." Meaning that if you're someone who wakes up every single day and is feeling angry and pointing fingers at everyone, you cannot control what other people do. If someone betrayed you and you're so angry, why would they do that? And maybe you're going off on them, or maybe you just held on to that betrayal for so long that now it's impacting your future relationships. Maybe because you saw domestic violence at home, or maybe because you were in the domestic violence relationship. Now you feel angry and all men are the same, or all women are the same. If you get stuck in that rut, that is how your world will be shaped. Now, if you wake up every morning and say, "Thank you for the opportunity to learn. Thank you for having gone through that, because then I wouldn't be the person in whom I'm developing a better person for the world had I not been through that." Mentality really matters. And I want you to know yet again that you're allowed to feel however you want to feel. Nobody can tell you anything about that. It's what you do with it that matters. So again, in this world, I'm give you this challenge. You have two paths. You can choose to make excuses for all the reasons that you got screwed over, all the life circumstances that gave you setbacks, where you're thinking everyone had it a lot easier than I did. Why did I have to be born in a life like this one? You could stick in that victim mentality and never reach your goals. You will forever be whatever it is that people tell you to. Or you can choose to acknowledge the challenges in life. Instead of blaming your life circumstances, you remind yourself this is only, and this is so key, guys. I want you to remember that if you're going through a rough time, I promise you this is only temporary until you're able to get out of it. Now, this is hard, especially if you're a young person who can't really control where you are in life. The amount of my teenagers that have cried and said, "My grandma said this to me," or "My mom said this to me," whoever their guardian is. And it's something that's absolutely not true. Like, a lot of the times, I want you to know, if you're a young person watching this, your parents, they're no more than kids who had kids. That's not an excuse on how they treat you. It's just for you to understand that a lot of the times they're projecting their insecurities on you, or they're doing exactly as they were taught from their parents. You are more than what your parents say that you are. You are far more than the criticisms that people have to say to you. And I know it sucks, because as a kid, it's not like you can choose who you live with. Maybe you're in a foster home and you're like, "Man, like, I quite literally cannot get out of this mess, and I might as well just give into anxiety or depression or anger." But again, I want you to know, I'm sorry that the life circumstances have made you feel like you have no control. But I'm here to tell you that you do have control. Because again, yet you have, though you cannot control how others treat you, what they say to you, you have all the control in how you choose to take it and react to it. I'll ask you to challenge yourself with this question. Instead of saying, "Why did this happen to me? Why me?" ask yourself, what is something that I can do to learn from the situation in the meantime? What is something that you can do with your time right now that is within your control to work towards becoming a stronger and better person? Maybe it's journaling. Maybe it's watching YouTube podcasts or videos for, improving yourself. Maybe it's picking up hobbies that you've always wanted to do. And I know you're like, "But I don't have money." The dollar store. You want to be an artist, grab a notebook, or maybe paper from school, pencil from school, draw. Maybe you've always wanted to be able to garden. Okay, DIY, Amazon budget friendly gardening indoors. Got like little cheap ones that aren't too expensive. Maybe there's that book that's building up dust off in the corner. Maybe you're someone who finds yourself super unhappy with the career that you chose, but you're like, "I already studied this. I got my degree. What am I supposed to do? I'm stuck in this rut." Maybe you're thinking to yourself, man, I'm already here in here 10, 15 years. This is as good as it's going to get. No. If you want more in life, you absolutely have to work for it. And it all starts off with 5 minutes. You've always wanted to get your real estate license? 5 minutes. Sit down, because habits are a key thing. Key thing to habits is every day. Not how long you try a habit every day. It's how daily do you do a habit. Even if you do a habit for 5 minutes every single day, it's far better than doing it for 2 hours one day and then not doing it anymore. You want to do your real estate license? Sit down and jot down. How do you get your real estate license? Write it down in a notebook for 5 minutes. Call it a day. Next day, pick it up again. Maybe there's always that one skill you've been wanting to learn, but you've been putting off because, oh, I'm just too busy because of this, this, and that. 5 minutes. Okay. Remember that the suffering that you're going through is all but a little while in time. The reason why I say this, me specifically, okay, is because when you're in a rut, it is so easy to feel like this is forever, like your situation is never going to change. The only way your situation is ever going to change is if you allow it to never change. And the only way to do that is by changing your mentality and being up someone who wakes up every day, who counts their blessings, and 5 minutes every day does something about it. I think if everyone took the time during their upset moments to breathe, to acknowledge what they're going through, and count your blessings, and then try every single day to make a difference, even if it's just 5-10 minutes, that all of us would be able to be one step closer to being happier people. And hopefully the statistics would go down and we would have happier overall quality of life. Now, I do want to share this with you. This is the very last thing. And if you're not really a religious person, feel free to, you don't have to stay for this part. But I do want to say that I want to say a prayer for you. I know what it's like to be in that situation where you feel like it's going to be forever. So I want you to know that I'm in here in this video with you right now. That whether it be you're going through a situation where you feel you're stuck at home, maybe you're upset where you ended up in life. Maybe you're thinking this isn't the job that I signed up for. Maybe you're thinking, man, I just went through a breakup and it hurts so bad. I don't know how I'm going to make it by. Maybe you're upset with the friends that you have surrounding you and they're making you feel bad. Whatever your life circumstance is, where you're feeling dissatisfaction and sadness, this prayer is for you. My Father in heaven, please hear my cry. I feel as though I have no power in this present time. Please help me to see life the way you do, to understand that where I am today is not where I know I will be in the future. I claim boldly your promise made in Joshua 1:9 that where you have commanded me to be strong and courageous, to not be afraid, that you will walk with me wherever I go. Lord, help me to let go of the problems that are out of my control, the burdens I cannot currently change. I lay them before the cross of your Son, Jesus Christ. Help me to embrace that which is in my control, which is my mentality and the spirit within my own heart. I pray you can give me the discernment to know when negative thoughts are overwhelming me so I can counter them by breathing, stopping, counting my blessings in life, such as having a home, water, food, or even getting another day to take a fresh breath of air. Lord, your servant is listening. Send me wherever you want me to be in life. And as I go through this day and the day to come, help me to give every task that I encounter my 100% effort as if I were serving the Lord and not man. Amen. I want to thank you for watching this video. And I want you to know that whoever you are, I will be praying for you. And I really hope you hold on in there. Life is going to get better, especially if you're a young person. Like, guys, like, I didn't like high school. I did not like my circumstance at home. But now it's like, it really reminds me. I remember being in high school and I was going through so much at home. And I remember coming to school one day and finding out that a girl at my school had committed suicide. She was being severely bullied. I was also being bullied. And I remember specifically thinking to myself, how heartbreaking. Such a beautiful young lady that she had such a bright future. And now me being older, quite literally 10 years ago, and I'm thinking, man, my life circumstances have changed. Man, am I a happier place in life? Man, did I regain control over my life? Once I turned 18, I was out and I restarted my life in Lincoln, Nebraska. I left out of state. I was able to go over there, make friends. No, if someone was being a certain way, like that I thought was triggering, I could always separate myself from it. Having friends who dropped everything for me in a way that was healthy, and I did the same for them, building a community, no longer needing to feel like a helpless victim and constantly feeling on edge, to make that difference in my life, that I took initiative to do that. And it breaks my heart to know that she never had that chance. So please never stop fighting. Never give up on your dreams. 5 minutes every day. Feel overwhelmed by the negative thoughts or the voices you hear at home or in your own minds? Breathe. Remind yourself every day to count your blessings and where you want to see yourself in life. And one day you're going to look back, be sitting under a tree with beautiful sunlight and clear blue skies. And you're going to take one deep breath and know that would have all been worth it. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great day, guys. Bye.